December 18th, 2020, Drytron was introduced to the TCG. What is Drytron? Today, we're going to dive in and analyze the evolution of Drytron, going all the way back to his roots, starting with the earliest builds all the way to the current. So I just wanted to say, welcome to My Yugioh Journey. When the deck first hit the TCG, it was a very synchro heavy kind of deck, but it never got to see the light of day because before the release of the set came the Forbidden Limited list on December 15th, banning Linkross, an essential piece of the strategy. People lost all hope in Drytron until Jesse Cotton innovated a brand new Drytron variant at LCS number 9 on December 13th as they played with the new ban list. After this, Drytron instantly became tier 1 alongside with Virtual World and Dragon League, who are arguably the best two decks of the format. After people started refining the deck, they realized its true potential, abusing Ben 10 and Union Carrier to make Herald of the Ultimateness with 5 negates or Vanity's Ruler with backup was really good. The deck continued to soar to the top of the charts, but there was one thing hindering the deck. The true king of all calamities. Virtual World just kept getting refined, and at its peak, some would argue it was just simply the best deck. After Virtual World hit its peak around February, Drytron just fell off the face of the map in competitive play. But it gets worse. The March 15th ban list takes effect, and calamities is no longer an issue. Konami quickly banned it, but for some odd reason Konami still recognized Drytron as a serious problem and quickly limited Ben 10 to 1 and banned Union Carrier altogether, and those are its most important combo pieces. Drytron quickly just fell out of competitive play altogether, with Dragon Link and control decks such as Shaddoll Invoked and Tri-Brigade just reigning supreme, but Dragon Link having the slight edge. Some people tried to keep the deck afloat, innovating variants with Megaliths and Vandreads of Drytron, but it just kept falling short and feeling like something was missing. Ben 10. It wasn't until the release of Lightning Overdrive, June 4th of 2021, when Drytron instantly generated a huge amount of publicity. After laying dormant for 2 months, the deck came back, better than ever. With the release of Diviner of the Heralds and Mubeta Fafnir, Drytron officially entered the Tier 1 status. If you've been following My Yugioh Journey, I'm proud to say, this is the Return of Drytron. With the Return of Drytron, we're going to take this to locals and see if we can make something happen. We are definitely taking Drytron to locals. We're playing in a 3v3 here soon, and we're also going to be playing in the YCS. So we have a lot of exciting things coming up in My Yugioh Journey. I can't wait to see what we can do with Drytron. We have the 3 diviners, and we're going to see what we can make happen. So without further ado, let's just go to locals. Alright guys, wish me luck. We just got the locals, the Return of Drytron, and My Yugioh Journey. I have to be honest, I'm kinda nervous about this because before when we played Drytron, when Ben 10 was at 3 and Union Carrier wasn't banned, we used to win almost every single local with the deck. We did extremely well with it, it just happened to be my deck. And this locals looks like it's gonna be a pretty big turnout, 15 to 20 players, and I am very excited to test Drytron. We're diving into round 1. This is looking to be very interesting. We get paired up against Tri-Brigade Zoo. And yeah, it's a very interesting match to say the least, and I managed to win 2-0. Game 2, I was able to out-resource him, and it was actually kind of funny. He was able to Desires 2 times, and I decked him out. Alright guys, so we just finished round 1. We're off to a good start. We played up against Tri-Brigade Zoo. What you would expect from Tri-Brigade Zoo, it's a pretty good player, pretty good build.
Looks like a pretty solid standard Tri-Brigade Zoo build. I was just able to out-resource him. I beat him game 1 just by going full combo, and he didn't open, I mean, he opened Ash, but he didn't open like any other really crazy hand traps. Game 2, I was just able to sided in like 15 cards against him because my whole side deck's good against that matchup, and just sided out all my hand traps and put in a bunch of blowout cards like you know, evenly matched, lightning storm, stuff like that. And eventually, you know, I was able to just grind the game out and just take the W. He actually decked out. That's actually how I won the second game, because he had those 2 desires twice, and it was just pretty funny because late game I was sitting on Fucho, he dropped a Zeus on me, and like Fucho's just chilling. And yeah, it was a very interesting game. So I actually won 2-0, thankfully. Hopefully I can do something crazy in the next round. You know, a lot of different matchups here today, so we'll see what we can do.
Now we're moving on to round 2, and it gets even more interesting than the last. We're paired up against John L, and if anybody that knows John L knows, he always runs interesting spice. He's playing trap tricks, and it's very insane. But thankfully, game 3, opening hand, I had Lightning Storm, Reboot, Alpha, Zeta.
Alright guys, we just concluded round 2. I got paired up against, it was like a very weird trap trick kind of deck. Like, I don't even know what else to call it. He was running on some like really interesting cards. It almost seemed like it was like very productive against Drytron. Like, he ran like cards that prevent like if I summon from like hand or graveyard or even extra deck, like he had all kinds of crazy prevention. But somehow I managed to win. I actually won the dice roll, let's just say that, and then I just went full combo. Or actually, I'm sorry, I didn't win 2-0. He beat me game 1, and then game 2 I went full combo. He didn't see any hand traps, plus I had orange light anyway. And then game 3 I just ran blowout cards like Lightning Storm, evenly matched. I had evenly in my hand that I didn't even use because I didn't need it. Lightning Storm was enough, and I just went full combo. So yeah, it was actually really fun. I forgot, round 1, it was Tri-Brigade Zoo, and then this was Trap Tricks. So moving on to round 3, hopefully, you know, we can just keep the trend going, knock on wood. I just love this deck, and I used to do well with it in the past when Ben 10 was at 3. Let's just hope the trend can continue.
So now we're moving on to round 3, and this is a weird matchup. We get paired up against Altergeist. Jacob in his Altergeist deck, he's very fluent with it, and I was safe to say I took it in game 3 in time.
Alright guys, so we just finished round 3, and I played up against Altergeist. It was a very, very crazy grind game, and fortunate for me, I was able to Natasha game 3 and they called time, but man, that was a freaking close game, I gotta say. One of the grindiest ones, and I'll talk to you after round 4.
So now that we're in round 4, this is the finals of the first local, and we get paired up against Mike Thompson on Tri-Brigade Zoo. This is a crazy matchup. I didn't get much footage of it because we were so in the zone, but I was simply able to take it game 3 by using Natasha to steal his Shurig and attack for game.
Alright guys, so we just concluded the final round, and oh my god, I actually went undefeated with Drytron. It's been a while since I got to play the deck at full power. It's just awesome. It feels good to just play this deck because I love it so much. But this last round we played against Tri-Brigade Zoo for the second time tonight. It was actually really fun. It was a grind game. Me and the player I played against, every single time we play, it's just a grind game, and it was fun to say the least. So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna head home. This is day 2 of the locals. We just won with Drytron yesterday. We went 4-0. It was really fun, really some grind games. We're about to go to locals now. Usually Sundays are a smaller locals, so it's probably only 3 rounds. But combining our record from today and yesterday, let's just see how well we can do overall.
So I'm really excited to just be playing Drytron again. It's my favorite deck. I'm so glad it's back. And I'm really excited to see like what we can do in these bigger events to come, the 3v3 and the YCS coming up. I am just super stoked.
Alright guys, so we're at day 2 of locals and we just concluded round 1. We got paired up against Paleozoic, the Toad deck, man. What? I definitely not a fan of this deck, but it's always very tough to play against. But I ended up taking it game 3. Game 1, he just was gonna drop like 3 Toads on me and I'm just like, I don't even think Drytron can out that game 1. So, but yeah, so moving on to game 2. It's gonna be a fun one. There's probably only gonna be 3 rounds tonight. So combined with yesterday, that'd be 7 rounds total. So I'll keep you updated. All right guys, so we just concluded round 2 and we got paired up against Harpies. I think he just bricked 2 straight games and we actually ended up taking it 2-0. So it's looking pretty good. We're gonna go into the last round. I'm pretty sure there's only 3 tonight. And I'll let you guys know how I did. What's going on guys, Brett Pro Angel. So we just finished at locals and we actually managed to win. So it was only 3 rounds, but technically we just went 7-0 from yesterday to today. The last round we played against Scrap Dinos with Drytron and fortunately we was just able to win 2-0. So yeah, with that being said, it is officially the return of Drytron. 2 locals in a row. I'm really happy to be playing this deck. It's definitely my favorite. It's one heck of a way to start playing it again, is to just go 2 locals straight. So with that being said, hopefully, you know, I can creep into the top status at the locals that I play at and, you know, hopefully take this format like I did the last one. That's actually my goal, is to, you know, take this format too. So I want to thank you all for watching, and we are about to head home.
So at the end of this second locals, we went 7-0 with Drytron. I just feel like it's so unbelievable that this deck is actually back. It made a resurgence and these new cards have just increased the potential of the deck so much. Let's just hope next week in a 3v3 we can do just as good as we did this week in locals. So we won some packs, but with that being said, at the end of this night, we're about to just go over the list. So just diving into the list, of course we run the standard 3 alpha, we gotta run the 3 zeta, they're mandatory, 1 delta, I run 2 gamma, I kinda like 2 gamma, and I also like 2 Fafnir. I wanna see my Drytrons as much as possible, I don't want to break. And yeah, Fafnir's pretty good. And we gotta have the Meteonis, the 3 Nova. I only like 1 Meteonis, the 3 Emergency, Pot of Prosperity. Some people are running this at 3, some are running it at 1. I really actually like it at 2. It's like the happy medium. Foolish Burial, some would call me crazy, but I'm running this over Called By. Called By is just a blowout card. Foolish Burial just helps you facilitate your plays. The Draconids and Ultimateness, I mean, they're just, you gotta have them. The Draconids is just like an additional, you could use the ritual spell or use him for a ritual summon. I like it. Ultimateness just wins you to games. Benton, gotta have it. Idaten is the newest addition. She facilitates your ritual spell more than once, and it's absolutely broken. And she has a really cute effect that increases your ritual monsters when she's tributed. And then of course Natasha still stealing games. We gotta have 3 Diviner, it's the starter. 2 Eva isn't necessary. I cut Orange Light down to 2 because I saw myself bricking on it, to be quite honest, and I don't like bricking. I try to build my decks as consistent as possible. So yeah, only 2 Orange Light, and I also, you know, that's why I run Foolish, 2 Fafnir, and, you know, just to see more Drytrons. Forbidden Droplets, so I don't lose the mirror match. Herald is a real card, as well as Droll and Ash. I feel like it's pretty standard. 3 Lance in the sideboard, and Psycho Readers and locals, I actually ran Lightning Storm. But Psycho Readers in a big tournament for sure. Dark Ruler, Twin T, everything else is just blowout cards for like back row. And then of course we run the 1 Intis. We run, Intis just wins games. Intising their Zeus is very important. I did that a couple times to Tri Brigade. And I actually forgot to make some changes. I actually cut the Chaos Ruler and I added a second Herald of the Arclight. Herald of the Arclight is very, very important. You need more than 1. And then I actually took out the Nightingale for a Fucho. Those are the only changes I made, but this is the exact list I ran for locals minus Psycho Readers. I ran Lightning Storm over those. But yeah, 2 Heralds are important, 1 Mu Beta is all you really need. Fucho, just attacking into their defense and going into Zeus is so powerful. Downerd's pretty essential as well for more material. Beatrice, Zeus, very important. Then of course the standard links, you know, Link Karibo, IP, the Unicorn Package, Access Code, Appaloosa, Boral Sword. I feel like these are all really standard. You have to have them. But first and foremost, I really just feel like, you know, people when they build Drytron, they're building it in a way where they just want to blow out their opponent. I want to see my combo pieces as much as possible, which is why I like Foolish, 2 Field Spell, and 2 Gamma. So I really want to thank you all for watching this. I just wanted to tap into the evolution of Drytron, take this new build to locals, see what we could do with it, and sure enough, we won 2 days straight with Drytron in the very first locals that we ever played it in at full power.